Welcome back to Sound Bites, the show about good people doing good things in the local food and beverage industry. And it's my absolute pleasure today to have Debra Coleman, who is a co-founder and director of sales at Libra Beer. So I know Libra is connected to Upstreet. So tell me a little bit about the founding of Upstreet and then this kind of metamorphosis to create Libra, and eventually now Libra has become so successful that it is its own entity. So tell us a little bit about the story.
Yeah, awesome. Well, first, thanks for having me on today. Really excited to be here and talk to you a little bit about Libra. Really the founding team at Upstreet Craft Brewing, based in Charlottetown and PEI, was Mitch Cobb and Mike Hogan. And really, they're working in the craft brewing industry for, it was about 8 years at the time. And, Mitch had really noticed the impact it was having on his health and wellness and was really looking for a better tasting alternative when it came to non-alcoholic beverages. So him and Mike really said, let's craft a beer ourselves and let's give it a try. And it proved to be a little bit harder than they thought. And it took about 2 years really to perfect the first Libra flagship beer, the Pale Ale. And so quite a bit of R&D, a lot of pilot batches that were tested and thrown out. But they came up with Libra in October of 2020.
And then is that when you come into?
That's when I came in. So I met Mitch and Mike shortly after. And I joined the team as the head of sales in January of 2021. And I was just really inspired about their mission to help people find their balance and a little bit of find moderation in their life when it came to alcohol consumption.
Yeah, and I think we all know that we've seen the recent studies and reports, and obviously we know that we need to all be moderate and more balanced in our life. We were talking earlier, and you still drink them beer and wine when the time comes, but it's about this kind of moderation, and we've seen this as a great trend around the world. Mm-hmm. But what I love about Upstreet and Libra too is that it's holistic. It's about non-alcoholic, but you're champions of environmental sustainability. So tell us a little bit about some of the certification you have that kind of assures the world of what the good you're doing for the environment, for your workers, all the things that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were the one of the first actually B Corp certified companies on Prince Edward Island, which is something we're really proud of. And B Corp certification, for people who don't know what that is, it's really about using business as a force for good and really combining purpose with profit. And it really is a set of certifications that looks at your standards of how what are your environmental practices? Are you sustainable? How do you source your ingredients for your products? Up to how you treat your employees. So it's a really holistic approach, and it really keeps companies in check. And to obtain that B Corp certification is a big nod to what we're doing as a craft brewery.
Wow, I mean, it is amazing knowing how few companies, have achieved it, and knowing the ethos behind it, that it is holistic. I mean, I think that's the really important thing about B Corp, at least in my mind. So. Yeah. Around 2020, they perfected the first brew. We should probably pour one.
We should, yes. Let's crack one.
I love the sound of a freshly cracked beer. And so we talked about Mitch's story. He was, probably gained a couple pounds, I'm guessing, by having beer all the time.
Yeah.
And I bet you probably over the last couple of years, and he lost quite a bit of weight after, right?
He did,
like 60 pounds or something.
He did, yeah. He noticed a huge difference by incorporating Libra into his life. And he didn't want to completely abstain from alcohol, but he noticed when he started to drink Libra and consuming less calories, all of our products range from 30 to 50 calories. And it had a huge impact on his health. And ultimately, he lost a lot of weight and felt a lot better.
That's great. And so who is the demographic elite? Who's buying Libra?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's we're seeing a lot younger of a consumer. It's really being driven by millennials and Gen Zs who are paying a lot more attention to their health and wellness. But 66% of millennials are actually looking to cut back their alcohol consumption. So it's really this younger consumer. But like you said, it's all about moderation. They're not abstaining from alcohol completely. They're just starting to mix in non-alcoholic beverages, and it's becoming a lot more normalized.
Have you seen any surprises in who's picking up? Because I think if we look back 10, 15 years, the the non-alcoholic beer that was available to us was relatively uninspiring, let's say.
Right.
But there's a lot of flavor in your beers.
Yeah.
So are you seeing even some people that consider themselves craft beer drinkers also embracing?
Absolutely. And we're lucky enough because we do have a tap room in Charlottetown, and we see people coming in, they're buying the regular upstreet craft brews and following it with a couple Libras. And so they're really, like I said, mixing them in, which is really great. And I think, a big part, I work on the marketing side of our business. Once people sample the products, we've been really working hard to get people's, cans in hands, lips to lids to try it. And once they try it, they're so surprised because they're probably their first experience and with non-alcoholic beer, like myself when I was pregnant with my daughter, was it didn't taste good, it lacked flavor, but that's not the case with Libra.
Right. So speaking on the marketing side, you've had some unbelievable success. Like, I mean, I had the pleasure of interviewing Mitch 6 months ago when you launched into the LCBO,
Yes.
the largest liquor retailer in the country and one of the largest in the world. That was a major coup, but a couple weeks ago, the impetus for this chat was this box. So tell me about this box and what that next step of the journey that just happened.
Yeah, it's just been incredible to see that momentum and success. And actually, our launch into Costco, which was on January 1st of this year, across 6 clubs in Atlantic, Canada, and 3 in Ottawa. And the reason for the ones in Ottawa is because we were the first ever sponsor of the Ottawa Blues Festival.
Wow.
First ever non-alcoholic sponsor. And so the Costco, one of their head office locations is in Ottawa, and they took notice of that. They thought it was really cool what we were doing, really, marketing in a music festival space where there's traditionally no non-alcoholic options. They took notice. They thought that was really cool. And so they launched us in our first ever 12-pack box with our IPA. And we launched about, 6 weeks ago, and it's just been going amazing so far.
And speaking of music, I know there's a connection with Signorina Ryder. So tell us a little bit about that. What's that?
Yes. So actually, that was a partnership that was established early days with Libra. We had sent her some samples when we first launched the Pale Ale because we knew that she was really out there and outspoken about the fact that she decided to not consume alcohol and the benefits that it had on her mental health and wellness as a touring musician. And so she just fell in love with the brand when she tried it. She loved, our tagline, "Find Your Balance."
Right.
And so we met with her team over 2 years ago, and it really formed this natural partnership where she became our brand ambassador and has really, brought Libra on tour. We've sponsored her tour. And actually a percentage of all of our sales go to Art House, which is her music incubator program for up-and-coming Canadian musicians. And it's really great to kind of see proceeds of Libra going towards that.
My head's starting to spin with all the success and things you do. But ultimately, too, it does come back to quality of product, right? So, making non-alcoholic beverages taste somewhat like their alcoholic beverages, which is hard because, alcohol is also about body and texture,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So what's the secret sauce to making Libra? But I think also, too, that you're able to make them in different styles, which is
Absolutely.
quite interesting.
So I give complete full credit to Mike Hogan, also known as Hoagie. He's our brewmaster, co-founder. And really, he could speak to the process better than I could, but we don't use kind of the high-tech reverse osmosis, boiling off alcohol, which a lot of the bigger breweries have done, and that's where the flavors have been a bit lackluster. So Mike really came up with his own process to really use the, traditional brewing methods of a craft beer, using the same process, but kind of tweaking steps along the way to really keep the full artisanal flavors of craft beer. And then again, he just kind of continued to do that in new styles, coming up with, a great tasting non-alcoholic stout, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And this, we've got an IPA in our glass right today.
Yeah.
And for those that like that kind of citrusy, grapefruity, it's there, right?
It's there.
It's in there. So, which is pretty impressive. Like that. Yeah. This is, not what those that may have had their experience with non-alcohol beers from a while ago may not expect that in the beer. So totally amazing. So tell us a bit about the styles that you offer and maybe what's your favorite.
Okay. Well, we're drinking my favorite, the IPA. I love it. I love the hop character. Again, I love its 50 calories, which is great. I like to call it my weeknight beer. My husband and I love to drink it every night. I'm not just saying that. So we have really I call them 5 flagship styles. We started with the Pale Ale, and then we launched the IPA. We have a Pilsner, and we also have that stout, which is a great, nice chocolatey stout. Love that. And it still has that nice body that people are looking for in a stout. And we also have a cherry sour, which is a really nice tart. It's got some great flavor profile to it. And then we've also been having a lot of fun with doing seasonals, something that really not many non-alcoholic breweries are doing. So we launched a pumpkin spice Libra last fall, which really did amazing. People love pumpkin spice. Come around really August, September. They're always looking for something with pumpkin in it. So we launched that product last fall. And I don't have one here, but we did launch a beer with Serena Ryder as well, a lavender sage cream ale, which really was a nod to some of her favorite flavors. And it's got really nice notes of honey, and it's just so tasty.
And since you're speaking of seasonals, the spice pumpkin spice launched in the fall, so we're coming up soon, hopefully, to a new season. Can you divulge?
I can't give any secrets away, but I can tell you we have lots of exciting new styles in the works that are being piloted. So you can keep your eyes out at your favorite local retailer for them.
Perfect. So with that, look for Libra at your local grocery stores. Look for it at Costco. If you're in Ontario watching, you can go to the LCBO. So just wanted to take time to thank Deb for coming in, chatting non-alcoholic beer with us, and for sharing a glass with me. So cheers.
Thanks so much for having me, Mark. Cheers.